I do not like The Invitation. Now, I know that's a hot take because a lot of people do like this movie, but I just did not. It took me about a year to actually finish the movie because I just stopped and started it. Like, I just wasn't invested. So I stopped and said, oh, I'll come back tomorrow to finish the movie. And then and then the next day, I didn't continue it. It took me a while, and then I tried it again. I tried watching it from the start. Got a little bit more into it. As far as the lengthwise, I wasn't any more invested. And then gave up and said, I'll come back tomorrow. Didn't happen. And then finally, I finished the whole thing. Watched it from beginning to end, and gave it a fair chance. And I still didn't like it. The Invitation is about Will and Kara, this couple, who are going to Will's ex-wife's dinner party. And it's very awkward because she has a new husband. And as soon as they get there, they get the feeling that something's up. Their guests are acting all strange. It just seems like they're planning something. But what? That's a great premise. I love the premise for this movie. I love tension and slow builds and all that stuff. I should love this movie, but let's get into why I don't. The tension in this movie for this part of the movie is great. You know, everyone's acting just a little bit off kilter. They're not, you know, you can tell something's up, but you don't know what. And this part of the movie had me really engaged. And then the part that made me turn off the movie for the first time comes up. The host, the ex-wife and the new husband, reveal that they have joined a cult called The Invitation, and claim that it's shown them given them a new lease on life. And as soon as I saw that, I went, so that's what it is. I just went, okay, so they're here to kill everybody for some initiation, something for this cult. And spoilers, that's exactly what it is. Okay, back to the video. Bye. I understand foreshadowing and giving hints as to what's going to happen. This is way too obvious a hint. It happens like 20 minutes into the movie. And this is the whole problem with the movie, is that the ending is just way too obvious. I'll get more into that a bit later, though. So they're all talking, and this one guy, he reveals that he killed his wife.
I'm going to be seeing her again in a better place than this.
That's what we believe. That's what most people have believed for centuries. I, for one, can't wait to get there.
But forgiveness doesn't have to wait.
Like they, everyone's sitting there like. So the main character, Will, he's going around this party talking to everyone, and he's like, man, I don't feel safe here. He keeps telling people that he's not safe, that he doesn't feel safe, that he thinks the hosts are up to something. You know, foreshadowing is a powerful tool and everything, but it works best when it's subtle. Part of this movie, I feel like I'm supposed to be wondering, what are these guys up to? But I know what they're up to. They're members of a cult, and they're gonna try and kill everyone. This whole movie just feels like it's telling you, just wait for it to get interesting. Just wait. You know, you're gonna love it when it gets to the good stuff, which isn't really what you want to feel like your movie's telling you. So at this point, Will confronts the host. He said, what the fuck's going on here? He demands to know what's up, and everyone's like, you're crazy. You're just paranoid. We know it's awkward, but you don't have to fucking confront us like that. And this gave me an idea, a moment of hope, because I was not into the movie at this point. And I was thinking, like, what if the movie ends like this? What if Will and Kara just leave, and that's how the movie ends? We never figure out if the host had any ulterior motives. We never figure out if they were going to kill everybody, or whatever. It just ends with Will going home to fester in his paranoia. You know, it Will, from the first scene of the movie is them killing a deer, and he's like clearly shaken by it. He's anxious from the start. So I was thinking, oh, this movie's about like excessive paranoia and what that does to you and how it can lead to you driving people away. But no, it's not. It's not about that at all. Well, you fucking stupid. Why would it be about that? We gotta devolve into. We gotta go into the action schlock portion of the movie. We haven't even gotten there yet. So one of the hosts, David, he lights a red lantern in the backyard. This is important. So the hosts are giving everyone a drink. They're doing a toast, and Will stops them. He's like, "What the fuck? We're not drinking this. You've poisoned this. Something's wrong." You may notice that this happened already. He already confronted the hosts about his suspicions, so it's a bit repetitive. But sure enough, he's right. He's completely right. One of the guests drank before he was able to stop her, and she falls down dead. So yes, they were trying to poison them. It's exactly what you expect. Their cult is a doomsday cult, and they are going to kill everyone. So then it just evolves into action schlock. Like, Will gets shot, and then the ex-wife shoots herself, and the other host, David, is like stalking around with a knife, and it's fine, I guess, but just like, it feels like a different movie at this point. It ends with Will and Kara surviving. And Tommy, I don't know what Tommy did that was so special that he gets to fucking survive, but Tommy survives. Good old Tommy. And then they go outside and they realize that this was not the only dinner party happening tonight. I think that's kind of a cool ending. I think it's pretty cool. It's really cool. I like the idea of zooming out and showing that this was not the only crazy thing happening tonight. Like, there were 15 or 20 other movies just like this that were going on in the same neighborhood that night. I think that's a cool idea. But it doesn't make up for the rest of the movie. The whole movie is just building to an obvious conclusion. It doesn't surprise you at all. It doesn't, like... And it wasn't intriguing at all. It wasn't like some movies you can see what's gonna happen, but it has a sense of dread to it. And usually the characters don't know where it's going. So, like, you get this sort of, like, you wish you could jump into the movie and tell the characters what's going on. But here, the characters from the start are, like, feeling anxious and feel like something's wrong. And like I said earlier, I should love this movie. I love slow burn thrillers, and I love movies that make you feel sort of paranoid and anxious. This movie just failed at it. It's also way too drawn out. Like, for a story where this little happens, it should not be an hour and 40 minutes. It should have cut out like 30 minutes, especially if the conclusion's going to be that obvious. And I think that's the reason I stopped the movie a bunch of times, is because I just wasn't interested. I think I just wanted something surprising. You want a story to unfold. Like, you want new things to be brought up, new wrinkles, new something. Like, this movie hits one note the whole time, and it's something's wrong with our guests. And it's like, something's wrong with our hosts. Something's wrong with our hosts. And it's like that from minute 1 to 15 minutes before it ends. And the rest of the movie is just action schlock that I really didn't like. I can see why people like this movie if you really get into it and if you really put yourself in the situation. but I just did not care. Like, these characters aren't really well defined. Like, I don't know shit about Kara's character. If you asked me to define her character, I would struggle giving you some adjectives. I guess the movie is less about paranoia and more about Hollywood, because the movie takes place in the Hollywood Hills, and I think that's a very deliberate choice, unless the filmmakers just wanted to film in their house. I think it's trying to say something about Hollywood being a cult. People in Hollywood just like to follow trends and kill people. That's my reading of the movie. It's not a really good reading because that stuff is only really added on at the end. The whole middle chunk of the movie doesn't support that theory, but that's my best guess. To be clear, I don't hate this movie. There's really nothing to speak of when it comes to like the technical aspects. The editing is good. I like the editing. I was bored by the writing of the movie, but I was not bored visually, and I think that's due to the editing. The editing, and some of the directing too, but mainly the editing keeps it visually interesting, at least. And the directing isn't bad, it's just very standard. Although one thing about the directing that I did like was the lighting. The lighting in this movie is very, very cold, very empty. It has that feel to it. It's very uninviting. I don't hate this movie. I can see why some people really like it. Just not for me. I don't have a problem with like any of the technical aspects of the movie. It's just the script. The script is the fatal flaw of this movie. So to end this review off, I'm gonna hit you with some subtle foreshadowing to build the tension for next month's review. I'm going to be reviewing all the Halloween movies, the Michael Myers movies, but except one of them isn't a Michael Myers movie. I'll talk about it next month. Was that subtle enough for you?